Hey, Pastor Steve here, and I believe that I have a word from the Lord for you today, and that word is countdown. It's the countdown to Easter, and I want to invite each and every one of you to join us at Friendship Church this Sunday, this Easter, and come and enjoy the holiday. Come and enjoy what Easter is really all about. I look forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Come and join us. In the meantime, what I want to do is I want to go through and do a countdown until Easter. If we take a look at the days and the events in the life of Christ, all the way to the point of where he died on the cross, we're going to see some amazing things, and I wanted to share these things with you. So this countdown actually begins 6 days before Christ is sacrificed on the cross. In John 12:3, we read this: "Then Mary took a pound of very costly oil, spikenard, anointed the feet of Jesus, and wiped his feet with her hair, and the house was filled with fragrance of oil." You know, a lot of us see that this is the same exact time when we see this in Luke and in Mark, but it isn't. She anoints his feet. The importance of that is that the feet of the Passover lamb and the ankles are actually anointed when it's chosen. Did you know that? And that was 6 days before the crucifixion, or before the sacrifice. And in this case, Christ, 6 days before the sacrifice, his feet were actually anointed. You know, this came right before he had his triumphant entry. John 12:13, they took branches and palm trees and went outside to meet him and cried, "Hosanna! Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord, the King of Israel." That means save us. They're telling the Passover lamb, save us. You've been selected as the Passover lamb. How exciting is that? Well, if we fast forward to 2 days before Passover, which is actually today, we see in Mark 14:3 this: "And beginning in Bethany at the house of Simon the leper, he sat at the table. A woman having an alabaster flask of very costly oil, a spikenard, then she broke the flask and poured it on his head." This is critical, because 2 days before the Passover, when the lamb is being prepared to sacrifice, you know what happens? They anoint his head. I mean, it's really neat when we see that. So if we can understand this, then we see this in the 8th verse. "She had done what she could. She became beforehand to anoint my body for burial." This is Christ actually saying, look, this is what this was all about, and hardly anybody ever caught it. In fact, we overlook it a lot of times. We think that this is the same incident in what we see in John, and yet it wasn't. You know, I want you to see something. This is incredibly important. You notice the 23rd Psalm, "The Lord is my shepherd"? Check out the 5th verse. See if this doesn't apply. "You prepare a feast for me in the presence of my enemies. You honor me by anointing my head with oil. My cup overflows with blessings." All three of those things happened, didn't they? He had a table prepared for him in the presence of his enemies, like Judas. And then he even had the cup of blessings, or the cup that would actually save us. He lifted the cup up and said, you know, this cup is the new covenant between us and the Father. Now that's a blessing. You know, based on these things, this is the word that I believe that the Lord has for me, for you today. "I have prepared my Son from the very beginning of time to die for your sins. He willingly did this for you. Come and accept all that I have prepared for you over 2,000 years ago." You know, this is a great message for every single one of us, isn't it? And Easter is going to be so good. If you don't have a place to go, come and join us at Friendship Church. Come at the 9 o'clock service. Come at the 11 o'clock service. Either way, come and join us on Easter. I hope to see each and every one of you there.